Hi, I'm Max.
Hi, and I'm Denise.
And welcome back to another edition of Urban Lifestyles. It's that time of year where we're definitely fall, temperatures changing, football weather, Thanksgiving's around the corner, everything's happening.
Staying in and eating more.
This is correct. We've got a great show today. We're going to be talking about something that you're a part of, which is the Girlfriends. We also had an opportunity to go down to Western Kentucky with the AKAs as they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, and also the last bit of summer with the St. James Art Fest. We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
Hashtag YBPRC. If we can get no justice, there can be no peace. We royal, blood of Mansa Musa flows inside of me until we arms lock united, MLKing down the street. We rose from Bloody Sunday cause the fight would not decease. And now we fight inequity for fingers, too. Peace.
Join the conversation. Visit pridepeaceprevention.org.
More than an energy company.
We are mothers,
Fathers.
neighbors, and friends.
Working hard when the weather is good.
And even harder when it's not.
With online updates to keep you safe and informed during the storm.
Programs to save you energy and money.
And new projects to help us provide cleaner, more reliable energy.
We are more than an energy company.
We are LG&E.
We're LG&E.
We are LG&E.
Our energies go to serving you.
Well, you know, we got to go to the St. James Art Fest. It was really neat going down again this year because the person who actually did the poster for the St. James Art Fest was an African-American artist. So we got an opportunity to talk to him and some of the other artists that were on hand. So take a look at this piece. Well, we're at the 62nd Annual St. James Art Fest, and I'm here with Mr. Kenneth K.O. Lewis, and he has the distinction of doing the poster for the 62nd Annual St. James Art Fest. And welcome to Urban Lifestyles, and first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a great honor.
So tell me, what went into your concept as it relates to your submission?
Well, the concept that I wanted to focus on was the most iconic visual for St. James, which is the fountain. And so when I wanted to focus on that piece, I'm a portrait, artist by trade. And so I wanted to focus on the figure itself, paint that in a very similar style to what I do. As you can see, my artwork is focused on portraits as well as the text. Sure. And I wanted to incorporate that within the painting.
So how long have you actually been painting? How long have you been working at your craft?
I mean, I've always drawn. Painting specifically, I started in high school, had a chance to dabble with acrylic paints then. And it was one of those things where I've always stuck with it. I've always enjoyed the process. I really got serious about, showing other people my artwork and doing festivals for like the past 7 years. And so off and on, I've got a chance to get out and show people what I got.
And a lot of people may not realize it, but you are from Louisville's West End. Yes. So how does coming from the West End influence the type of work that you do?
Well, the biggest influence is really just the people that I paint, because they've been very inspirational to me. Right. A lot of the quotes that I use are inspirational quotes. A lot of times when you come from a specific area, it's really important to find that motivation and that inspiration from a variety of places, especially when you're not seeing it around you. And so my artwork is really a visual of that inspiration, of that focus of trying to make sure that you stay focused and work hard and you drive no matter what the circumstances may be.
So, you said you've had a lot of influences, and I look around, I do see Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, Louis Armstrong, and of course Muhammad Ali. But let's talk about the Bob Marley piece.
Bob Marley is very similar to all the people that I paint. They are focused on people and really empowering people, being around people and looking at the positivity of bringing people together. So in this specific piece here, I wanted to focus on one love, but I didn't want to just plaster it across the forehead. So I wanted to incorporate it in its locks. And as you can see, the text is kind of hidden within, and you can see it very clearly when you get up close, but from a distance, it's one of those things that just looks like his hair. And so I want to use some symbolism as well, and that's where you have the flower here, which is the national flower for Jamaica. And the flower is called Lignum vitae, one of the hardest woods in the world. And so even the meaning of the flower, which is tree of life, is written on the opposite side. So I try to find that balance, use bright, bold colors, draw the viewer in, as well as have some kind of meaning and understanding behind the piece.
I'm here with Aisha of Aisha's African Baskets, and she's originally from the Senegal, but she lives here in Louisville, Kentucky, and you have got some fantastic baskets here. So Aisha, tell me about them.
Yeah, these are handmade baskets from Senegal, West Africa, and they're all made out of sweet grass and recycled plastic. And it's all made by women. Part of the proceeds go back to help with the women who make the baskets, send the kids back home to school.
So when you talk about sweetgrass, I'm not familiar. So tell me what's the difference in sweetgrass and bluegrass that we have here in Kentucky?
Sweetgrass actually is naturally grown in Senegal in large field, and we pick them up, let dry them, and then that's what we use. And they have that smell of tea, and that's what people are really attracted to the basket for.
So tell me how these baskets are traditionally used. Are they more just for sitting around from an art piece, or are they really functional?
Actually, here people use them like an art piece, but like originally, like the flat ones used like to pick grain, like oatmeal and all that kind of stuff, and storage. But the big ones are laundry hampers.
And something like this, do you make these also yourself? Do you know how to make
we
these?
have family members helping us. We work with a group of 100 women, making all the baskets. But like it's a tradition people know growing up, like so it's not something that you go learn to do, but it's like something that you grew up doing it.
Okay, now I'm assuming that each piece has a different name. So what would we call this in my hand?
This one is Fanta.
And it's used for?
Storage, but like these people use them on the bookshelf. Like for decoration at the same time, but they store jewelries and different stuff in it too.
Well, we're still here at the St. James Art Fest, and I'm telling you, there are so many different things to see. Everything from jewelry, the crafts, but nobody thinks about hats at the St. James Art Fest, and obviously I was wrong, because we've got hats, we've got fascinators, and I'm here with Kevin and Suzette, and this is the name of this business is Suzette's Couture, correct?
Suzette's Art Couture, and also Holman Millinery Studios.
All right. So I'm going to start with you, Kevin. Tell us about the business, the hats, and why you're here today.
Well, our business, we're from Philadelphia. We're a full-line millinery studio, so we do women and men's hats.
Okay.
My wife and stuff, she taught me how to do men's hats and so, and we've been doing it for over 25 years.
Okay.
So if you want to know some information about what my wife does with fascinators and the style of men's hats, we very ask the question.
Okay, so tell us about the selection of hats that you got out here now.
Well, on this side, speaking about the men's hats, my men's hat styles I usually do are like pork pies, fedoras, and a combination of my own designs.
Okay.
And right now, this is some of the hats I'm doing for like the fall. And these are more of a braided straw, but we do many other different hats and many different materials.
So tell me how the hats change in relationship, because when I would see something like this, normally I would think going into spring, summer, but you're saying these are headed into fall. Is it the color or does the material change?
Well, the material and the color of the hat makes a big difference when you're moving from summer into fall.
Okay.
So if you're doing stuff in the spring, you're going to have colors that are much more colorful.
Okay.
But the fall, you want to have colors that are more earth tone.
Okay, all right, great. And I'm going to move over here to your wife and tell me about the fascinators here. And Louisville is big on fascinators as we come up on Derby. So tell us about your fascinators and what inspires you.
Film and theater inspires me. I have a Halloween line which is inspired by Tim Burton, and also the Derby and the Breeders' Cup. We do our own felting and we do our own blocking. We work with 50 wooden molds. I studied hat making at Moore College of Art in Philadelphia.
So if someone wants a hat and they can't really describe it, they don't see it, is that something that you can kind of pretty much like sketch it out and help them create it, or are you just working with those 50 molds, or how does someone get that perfect hat? And what is the perfect hat?
The perfect hat depends on your lifestyle and your personality. We work with our color palette because we dye our own straws, like here. We dye our own straws here, which is natural straws. So depending on your lifestyle and your personality, we work with you on FaceTime and WhatsApp. We show you materials and swatches as well, and we show you the blocks that we work with to make recommendations.
The St. James Art Fest keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's just a great opportunity to go out and just really mix and mingle and find some great finds along the way.
It is. It's wonderful, but it's always surprising for the finds as well as surprising about the weather.
Yes.
Because it's the beginning of like fall, but sometimes you run into still summertime temperatures.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful time with the temperatures this year for the festival.
You are correct. And, I was really proud to meet the young man who did the poster, being right here in Louisville and from Louisville. Just let you know that we got a lot of talent right here in this community. We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
Fall means one thing, the latest in fashions from GQ Unlimited at 8th and Broadway and Indian Trail. Sweaters, blazers, and suits that you can match for dress, casual, or any occasion. Accessorize your selection with hats by Dobbs & Stetson and shoes by Stacey Adams. Make the ultimate fashion statement in Sean John, Perry Ellis, and Ralph Lauren suits, hats, blazers, shoes, and more. GQ Unlimited for every occasion. Designer suits, buy one, get one half off. GQ, where the well-dressed man shops and shops and shops.
Hashtag YBPRC. If we can get no justice, there can be no peace. We royal, blood of Mansa Musa flows inside of me until we arms lock united, MLK and down the street. We rose from Bloody Sunday cause the fight would not decease. And now we fight in equity for fingers, too. Peace.
Join the conversation. Visit pridepeaceprevention.org.
101.3, Kentuckiana's #1 station for R&B. Magic 101.3. Give me that green light. With your permission. We're live, local, and Louisville. Magic 101.3, the home of Steve Harvey and Morning Show. We are.
So Denise, I think I'll let you take the lead on this.
This was another wonderful afternoon, sort of like a day party of a celebration of a national organization, primarily of African American women, called the Girlfriends Incorporated, and it's about the Louisville chapter for 65 years of celebration. Let's just take a look.
For the Louisville chapter, there's a lot of history indeed. So here I'm standing with girlfriend Sherry Hamilton. And Sherry, welcome once again to this fabulous affair. But I know you know a lot about the history for the Girlfriends chapter, so just share a little bit about that.
Well, the Girlfriends were founded in 1953, October the 10th, and my mother was one of the 13 charter members.
And your mom's name?
Was Ruth Booker Bryant. And all the charter members now are deceased. But we're carrying on the tradition of fun and friendship and service. But basically fun and friendship is what this organization was founded on. In 1927, the national organization was founded during the Harlem Renaissance in New York City by a group of girls from college who wanted to stay in touch. They wanted to maintain their friendships as they went off into the world. So the club here was called the Les Mesdames, and Cleveland approached them about affiliating with the national organization because they were based on the same principles of fun, friendship, and service. So they integrated actually the Henry Clay Hotel because they were bringing members from 40 members from other chapters, and we were the 18th chapter to be inducted into the Girlfriends. So Henry Clay had never had black house guests, had never had a black affair, and so I don't know, they had some legals in their group, like Charles Anderson, who was a state representative, and Belma McClaskey's husband, Charles Lunderman, and Ben Shaw. You know, they worked their wonders and integrated back in 1953.
When you speak of the history about the Girlfriends National Organization on the whole, and of course the Louisville chapter as well, it made me think when I was looking at the movie about Chief Justice Thurgood Marshall and how his wife, being in New York chapter, Vivian Buster Marshall, when Thurgood Marshall signed the papers in making the Girlfriends become incorporated. So I said it's always a lot of good, rich history there.
You know, and it's about friendship because during those times, it was very stressful. You know, no matter what your profession, how much education you had, there were so many doors that were closed to you. So we depended on each other. We supported each other. We supported each other's businesses. And friendships developed. Kids became friends with their kids. And so we all grew up with similar values, similar outlook on life, and wanting the best for this community. So we're just happy to celebrate another 65 years and hope that this spirit will continue. You know, it's a small group, but it's a mighty group because these women are involved in the community and they have their boyfriends who are their husbands or significant others, you know, and they do their thing too. You know,
I know I used to think about years ago when I was younger and in the Louisville Defender, seeing a lot of the service projects that the Louisville chapter of Girlfriends used to do, and my mind goes back to that as well.
Yeah, and I think about the Girlfriends Fund that was established in 1989 as a 501c3. So local organizations here like NAACP ACTSO benefited, and scholarships. A lot of students here from Louisville have benefited from the Girlfriend Fund. So we raised money, United Negro College Fund, Children's Defense Fund, you name it. Girlfriends have contributed. You know, we may not always be out front, we may be behind the scenes, but we're helping to get things done in this community.
Well, Sherry, thank you so much for lending the aspect of all the rich history. And this indeed is the 65th anniversary of the Louisville chapter of the Girlfriends. It's called a Blue Sapphire Affair, and we're looking to have more conviviality.
You know, I have to admit, you all know how to put on a party early in the afternoon. And one thing I like about it, come out at noon, you have a great party, great friends, great food, have a good time, and you get out, it's 3 or 4 o'clock. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't want to do anything else after that. That was just a great event.
Yeah, it was quite fulfilling, and a lot of people were talking about they just did not know about the history of the Girlfriends, especially from a national perspective. And then right here that Sherry Bryant was talking about doing the history of the Louisville being formed. So it was a great afternoon.
Right. And I want to give a shout out to all the boyfriends, because we are the significant others of the Girlfriends, even though she was remiss in mentioning that. We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
Indiana's #1 Toyota dealer. Hey folks, just take the Bridge for Savings. We're offering employee pricing for everyone who walks through the door. Remember, you pay what we pay. Come see me, Rodney Carter. We're closer than you think. Just take I-65, exit 4, Lewis and Clark Parkway, across from the Green Tree Mall, or visit us on the web at JeffWallerClarksvilleToyota.com.
My role here is a meter specialist, is to go out to neighborhood houses and read meters for the water company in order to prepare for the bill of the usage that they use per month. What I like most about my position is reading the commercial meters, the big meters, the hospitals, UPS, Ford, etc., and the mass meters, which we push water from counties. Oh, I love working for the Louisville Water Company. It's a great job. It's out in the field, which I love being out in the field. Great benefits, good pay. It's a real good job. My typical day is to come into Almond Avenue here and get my processor and go to my Jeep, get ice and water, get ready for the day, head out to my route and start reading those residential meters. Well, we have to qualify for this job. You have to go out and read a certain amount per day for a week or so to qualify to read these meters. Some days you can read from maybe 300 to 700 meters a day. Well, the most enjoyable part of the day is when you get to that last meter that you're reading for the day to say that your route is complete or time for lunch. So, because it's a long day some days here. The water company tends to take care of their employees better than others. That I feel. We have our tools and our daily routes that we go to, and they tend to care about safety a lot more here at the water company. One of the things that I think that makes Louisville Water so great is their ability to produce such great quality water and get it to the customer. I'd say pure tap water is the best in America.
We're more than an energy company.
We are mothers,
Fathers,
neighbors, and friends.
Working hard when the weather is good.
and even harder when it's not.
With online updates to keep you safe and informed during the storm.
Programs to save you energy and money.
And new projects to help us provide cleaner, more reliable energy.
We're more than an energy company.
We are LG&E.
We're LG&E.
We are LG&E.
Our energies go to serving you.
Fall means one thing, the latest in fashions from GQ Unlimited at 8th and Broadway and Indian Trail. Sweaters, blazers, and suits that you can match for dress, casual, or any occasion. Accessorize your selection with hats by Dobbs & Stetson and shoes by Stacey Adams. Make the ultimate fashion statement in Sean John, Perry Ellis, and Ralph Lauren suits, hats, blazers, shoes, and more. GQ Unlimited for every occasion. Designer suits, buy one, get one half off. GQ, where the well-dressed man shops and shops and shops.
Denise, what is something that we're always looking for?
We're still always looking for those new show ideas.
That's correct. So if you've got a great show idea, be sure to go to our website at www.urbanlifestyles.net, and that's lifestyles with a Z. And if we happen to use your show idea, you can win a free oil change from Jeff Weiler Toyota. And of course, if you're in the mood for a new or pre-owned vehicle, go by and see Rodney Carter and tell him that Urban Lifestyle sent you. And speaking of being sent and going places and doing things, we had an opportunity to go down to Western Kentucky this weekend, and the AKAs were celebrating 50 years on the yard at Western Kentucky, and they were just having a great time, a lot of fun, and you did some interviews.
Yes, I did. So let's just take a look at this.
We're still doing college activity celebrations, but we have now moved over to the campus of Western Kentucky University. There's a great celebration going on today because it's marking the 50th anniversary of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated here at Western Kentucky University 50 years ago, and they started a really magnificent line of women. These women here are part of that celebration, and I'm just going to take the mic around, and I'm going to introduce you to the Golden Lady, though I know the longest, I say, and this is Mrs. Sherry Lyons. And Sherry, congratulations on you all's chapter, and what has been going on to mark this celebration with you all?
Last night we celebrated 50 years of Epsilon Zeta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and this was the first black sorority on this campus and the first black sorority on a non-white white campus in Kentucky.
So how many were on the charter line?
There were 17 of us on the charter line.
Now I have to ask you, what was the name of the line?
We were the charter line.
So no particular name,
we have the Jive 5 with us, which was our Alpha line. The charter line is just the charter line. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the ladies that are around here, your sorors, are all of these the one that I see you with your golden jacket on?
Yes. These were presented to us last night by the young ladies on campus. And there are 10 charter line members on campus celebrating with over 200 sorors today.
So what do you think about today's celebration, and your mind goes back to when it was first in the beginning?
I think it's awesome. What is really awesome is the growth of our chapter, the service that they do in the community and on campus. And we really appreciate the undergraduate chapter doing what they've done to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Epsilon Zeta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
I'm just going to say AKA because it rolls off my tongue better. Now you hiding back here. When you see the young people out here today, and when you think back to the years when you were on campus as AKA, what comes to mind for you?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is just the professionalism that I see of our young girls. They have worked so hard, just as she said, and just that they are already proving themselves that they are worthy to be Alpha Kappa Alpha women, because we are up about service to all mankind, and they have proven that.
And for you, Beverly? Well, be hiding back there.
I'm not hiding. This weekend, we started with a service project, and that meant so much. We were at the Salvation Army serving the homeless and just giving away food. And from there on, it's been nothing but a celebration. We just got through singing our hymn, and it just brought tears to my eyes to see 200 of us in a circle singing.
And for you?
We have enjoyed our weekend. It was very special to us, celebrating not only Epsilon Zeta's 50th anniversary, but also to see all my golden sorors in one place, healthy and well, and as beautiful as ever.
Could you have imagined so many years ago thinking about what it would have been like to where you are now?
Absolutely not. I don't think any of us realized what a big deal this was. And the younger sorors keep telling us that, we're very special. So this has been, for me, one of the best times that I've had in years, just being among my sorors.
And last but not least, it takes you back to say what?
I've had a wonderful weekend. I think all the sorors that came, all the young ladies have made us feel like we're queens.
They've taken care of us and just made us feel very, very special. And it's just been a wonderful weekend.
So you can see everybody was having a great time. It was just so, I always tell people when you go back down to Western, we were down there in the 70s. The campus today is just phenomenal. To see the AKAs back there after 50 years, it looked like that they were having a great time. Over 200 of them showed up.
Yeah, but the thing about it was interesting that we spoke about off camera was what the climate was like and the social culture, because in the late 60s when they first were there, was not a lot of African Americans there and first forming that chapter. And some of the things that they dealt with in that city, you would say, here it is 50 years, and we're still dealing with it in this society. But they overcame, so that was the good part about it.
And next year, the Kappas and the Omegas will also be celebrating 50 years, so we'll be back down there for
established at that university.
That's it, a half a century. We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
Fall means one thing, the latest in fashions from GQ Unlimited at 8th and Broadway and Indian Trail. Sweaters, blazers, and suits that you can match for dress, casual, or any occasion. Accessorize your selection with hats by Dobbs & Stetson and shoes by Stacey Adams. Make the ultimate fashion statement in Sean John, Perry Ellis, and Ralph Lauren suits, hats, blazers, shoes, and more. GQ Unlimited for every occasion. Designer suits, buy one, get one half off. GQ, where the well-dressed man shops and shops and shops.
101.3, Kentuckiana's #1 station for R&B.
Can we swim a lake by the ocean?
Magic 101.3.
Give me that green light. With your permission.
We're live, local, and Louisville. Magic 101.3, the home of Steve Harvey and Morning Show. We are.
You know, great jazz keeps coming to Louisville, and Spyro Gyro will be here on November the 18th, and they're going to be at the Bourbon Hall. So if you don't have your tickets, make sure that you get your tickets soon, because it's definitely going to be a great show, something you don't want to miss.
Another good date night.
Another good date night. You are correct. Well, you know what? I think that's our show.
That's our time.
And we'll see you back here next time on Urban Lifestyles.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.